do you think capitalism exploits Christianity in the sense of like the reason why holidays are like a month long now, and like like Christmas is like 2 months long, Easter is like a big sales event, every holiday is a sales event. And do you ever think about that aspect of it?
Yeah, obviously consumerism has taken a hold of almost every major holiday out there. I think Arbor Day is safe. Um,
Arbor
but
Day will always be safe from capitalism, and I suppose Labor Day and yeah, but other than that,
yeah, do I can't blame stores for offering sales on gifts in the season of giving. Um, but I do agree that certain people try to take advantage of people's religious beliefs to embetter their own pursuit or their own company or whatever. And that hurts me because I see a lot of religious people get taken advantage of to that degree. Like, oh, it's this holiday, that means you have to have this, otherwise you're not doing it right. And in reality, when you talk about Christmas, yes, it's a nice thing to give each other gifts, but that's not the religious meaning of the holiday. It's the birth of Jesus, this not beautiful thing. 'Cause if you go back, it was in a dirty farm with a bunch of random people, and
yeah,
but
yeah.
a beautiful event, not a beautiful thing. And Easter was obviously like has nothing to do with consumerism. That was just like if you throw in the Easter bunny, that was people trying to seek profit. Like, oh, what if we sold people chocolate then? Why? Because people like chocolate. Okay.
What if we did Halloween in the spring?
Whoa, how do we do that? I don't know. What holidays are in the spring? Easter. That has nothing to do with that. Who cares?
Throw a bunny, get some costumes, get some candy. This is
It'll
gonna
be
be great.
okay.
Are you aware of the Mondragon Cooperative? Have you ever heard of that?
I don't believe I have actually.
So it's the largest cooperative in the world. They get a lot. They supply companies like Microsoft and Apple and huge companies.
Mm-hmm.
General Motors is another big contractor of theirs. They're this series of cooperative. It's like a cooperative conglomerate,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all worker-owned enterprises. So the workers evenly own each enterprise. They have their own university in Spain, and they're also the seventh largest economic enterprise in Spain. If you throw all the public and private companies together, they're the seventh largest. And what's interesting about it is actually they were started by a Basque priest. Like he started the original cooperative over 200 years ago. Um, and obviously, cooperative commerce is a very essential pillar to creating a alternative to our current society, because economic functions, delivering goods, these are all very essential things to our society, and I don't think that'll ever change. uh, so my point in bringing that up is just to sort of, I think in the left we don't think a lot about, uh, we're very focused on certain portions of history, like a lot of people, but uh, we sort of forget some parts of our history and how people of faith, Martin Luther King's a great example of this as well. How
Yeah,
people
pretty
of
decent guy.
faith, yeah, how people of faith really have affected our movement over time. Um, I know Eugene Debs was
Yeah.
very influenced as well by Jesus. He said he this is a quote from Eugene Debs. He said he denounced the profiteers, and it was for this that they nailed his quivering body to the cross. If Christ could go on the cross for his principles, surely I can go to prison for mine. Shortly after, he was sent to prison for speaking out against the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
Ran for president from prison, stuff like that. He also did have critiques of the church. Maybe you can respond to this critique. He said, I never darken a church door because I hate hypocrisy almost as much as I love the character and teachings of Jesus Christ. Christianity is a beautiful faith. The trouble is that there are only that he said the trouble is that there are only so pitifully few Christians in the world.
Yeah, that would I believe there's a similar quote from Gandhi where he said, I love your Jesus, but I don't love your Christians because of their hypocrisy. And I believe that everyone who says that they're trying, who says that they are following God and makes mistakes, to a sense, is a hypocrite. Because yes, I can't live a perfect life like Jesus, but there are people who will not live, who will, say these things and they'll judge people, but then they'll go off and do terrible things. And that's where you see the hypocrisy of like these Christians, like why aren't they acting like Christians? And I think there's a chapter in Matthew I'd like to bring up about mostly hypocrisy and judgment, because I think that is the biggest thing that people will go off of. Christians will often be considered very judgmental, and I don't doubt that. I've seen people that will have a lot of personal problems, but they'll still be trying to pinpoint someone else's just so they can feel better than them, which is not what the faith is about at all. So let me read Matthew chapter 7 real quick. Judge not that you not be judged, for with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it you will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is the log in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly, take the speck out of your brother's eye. So that kind of speaks to the fact that a lot of people spend their lives in hypocrisy because they're constantly judging others without judging themselves. And I believe
So
that's a Christian pandemic of sorts, of people doing that. Yeah.
yeah, and just from a personal perspective, like that's one thing that always turned me off. I mean, I think, but the only way I really got back into it to the point where I'm able to talk about it, on a stream is because of talking to people like you who didn't live on a high horse and were very understanding about different perspectives, and I don't actually think that that's a religious thing. I do think that that has more to do with, I mean, I can be this way when it comes to, politics. I think it's a lot of what you surround yourself with and involve yourself with, that maybe is the reason why people think that. But um yeah, so I think that was a really good thing to bring up, because it shows how the Bible does preach in many ways, living up to what you're believing in, and to not judge other people if they don't live up to that standard. Because